Hey there, my fabulous revers. Welcome back to another engaging episode of Rev Your Metabolism with Alicia Murphy. That's me. I'm Alicia, your go-to gal for all things health, wellness, and metabolism magic. Today, we're diving into a topic that's going to transform the way you think about your body and fitness. A 30-day body transformation protocol designed especially for women over 40. Picture this: a healthier, stronger, and more vibrant you in just 30 days. Sounds amazing, right? Well, stick with me because I'm going to break down the myths, spill the secrets, and get you on track to feeling fabulous. First, we'll chat about why women over 40 need to shake things up a bit when it comes to boosting health and reshaping their bodies. And then we're going to bust that myth that dieting down is the answer. Spoiler alert, it's not. Dieting down can actually slow your metabolism and zap your lean muscle, and we definitely do not want that. So, what's the game plan? I've got a 30-day protocol that's all about changing body composition. Think lean, toned, strong. Plus, I got a special treat for you, a 7-day guide to keep you inspired and on track. But we'll talk more about that later. All right, are you ready to get started? Let's jump in and rev that metabolism. Welcome to Rev Your Metabolism with Alicia Murphy. I'm Alicia, your host, creator of Stress Monkee Fitness, the REV method, and your go-to health coach for being super fit and unstoppable after 40. With 15 years of rocking the fitness and nutrition industry, plus overseeing the wellness program for a major shoe company, I'm here to share my knowledge with you. Are you ready to join me on an exciting journey to restore your metabolism, boost your health, and turn back the aging clock? On this podcast, we'll unlock the secrets to boundless energy, burning more fat naturally, and feeling confident in your own skin. Get ready to soak up simple yet powerful strategies that will transform your health and fitness game. These tips will be a game changer, so hang on to your hats and glasses. And do not forget to hit that follow button so you won't miss any of our amazing tips and tricks. All right, let's rev it up. Rever, I'm so happy you're here. You know I love spending this time with you. And today we're going to talk about when you want to change the shape of your body. Let's go over a protocol that you can try for 30 days, just to try it on for size, and embrace 3 different components that can help you to change your body composition. Again, meaning that lean look, being strong. But before we get into this, you know what I'm going to say. I want you to go put on your favorite pair of walking shoes and get outside, and let's walk and talk while I explain this 30-day protocol to you. Because guess what's part of the 30-day protocol? Yeah, that's right, daily movement. All right, let's just get right into this. Before I go over the specifics of the 30-day protocol, I just want to talk about 2 main ideas of why this protocol will work so well, specifically for women over 40. When we start to, and again, we say women over 40, but these things could start, 30, 35, maybe not till 45. So it's all down to your hormones. That's what starts this whole charade. And you got to understand that as women, we hit a certain point in our life where the hormones estrogen and progesterone start to decline. So that's the big takeaway, is that that happens for everybody at a different age. But once that starts happening, that's going to cause this whole cascade of events in your body that make it so you need to shift the way that you are approaching weight loss, your health, fitness. Basically, when estrogen and progesterone start to decline, obviously many things happen, but a major thing that impacts the shape of your body is those two hormones act as a shield against the stress hormone cortisol. So when those two hormones are declining, we become more and more sensitive to cortisol. And that is just the big picture of why you need to start to shift the way that you're approaching, if, like I said, weight loss, or you just, want to get that tone lean look, or maybe you have some health markers that you need to improve. We need to start to understand that the things we did in our 20s, back when we were very stress resilient physically, I'm not talking mentally, physically, because we had these higher levels of estrogen and progesterone. Well, now we have to change the way that we attack our health and fitness. And the next episode that I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about the mistakes that I see women over 40 making when their goal is to lose fat and gain lean muscle. So you're going to want to be sure to jump in. That's almost going to be, I'm going to go in a little bit deeper on what I just talked about right now. So again, we really want to kind of change our approach. Not kind of, we want to change our approach to how we are jumping into things that are going to help us to lose weight or change our body. And I'm going to explain 3 major things that you can start to do right now that will help you achieve that when you are over 35, over 40, over 45, over 50, etc. All right. Next thing I want to address, why we need to focus on the things I'm going to go over today. I'm just calling them the 3 components. And that is this idea of dieting down in weight. Now, calories in versus calories out. Oh, my stars. It's just everywhere, right? People are arguing. It's not about calories in versus calories out. That's all that is. It's science. All right. Yes, it is true. Calories in versus calories out will equal weight loss at first. But there will most likely become a problem down the road when you are only dieting down when your goal is to lose weight. So yeah, the number on the scale might be dropping, but what's happening inside your body? You possibly are slowing down your metabolism, losing lean muscle, which is never a good thing. When we lose lean muscle and when we slow down our metabolism dramatically, this means the body needs less and less calories. So your only option is to just keep lowering your calories. But now what's happening, and you can't keep doing that, right? That's not sustainable. But now what's happening also is, remember what I just talked about, how sensitive we get to the hormone cortisol, the stress. Well, when you are dropping your caloric intake too low, your body perceives that as a stressor. And now there's this whole backlash of too much cortisol, which is a driver of belly fat. It's going to screw up your hormones even more. It's not a good thing. So technically, yes, it's true. If you take in less calories than you put out, you will lose weight. But again, that can leave you in a very, very nasty place that we don't want to be in. So today I'm going to talk about the 3 things that will help you to, lose weight, but really change your body and dramatically boost your health. So let's get started. I'm going to introduce this 30-day body transformation protocol. All right, here we go. Let's get into this. 30 days. And this is something you continue to do forever if you want to. But I just am saying, think of it as an experiment. If I do this little thing, that little Miss thing Alicia told me to do for 30 days, what will happen? Right? It's just a fun little way to experiment. Now, remember that this is when your goal is changing your body composition, meaning being lean, toned, strong. And I have created a fun freebie for you, a little cheat sheet. It's a 7-day guide that incorporates all 3 components I'm going to talk about today. And I'm going to let you know how to download that guide in just a moment. But what I'd like to do first is just explain the 3 protocols, the 3 components of the protocol. And then I'm going to tell you the link of where you can go grab that guide and you can follow along. You could just keep repeating it if you want to 4 times in a row, but it'll just kind of show you exactly what I'm talking about. You know what? I'm just going to tell you right now. If you go to stressmonkey.com/guide, GUIDE, and remember that Stress Monkey is spelled E instead of EY. My husband thinks I'm such a goober when I do that, but I can't help myself. I think it's funny. So Stress Monkey spelled EE instead of EY. I'm being very serious. .com/guide, and you can go download your copy of the 7-day guide just to help walk you through these 3 components I'm going to talk about right here, right now. I think what we should do, gotta do a fact or fiction, don't you think? Fact or fiction. Yeah. All right. Fact or fiction number 1. Is this a fact or a fiction? Daily movement, meaning overall daily movement, accounts for a higher percentage of calories burned than intentional exercise. Is that fact or fiction? Muchacha? Is that a word? I don't know. That is a fact. It's a fact. So the first step of the component, or the first component of the 30-day body transformation protocol is to focus on getting daily steps. It's just the easiest way to make sure you're getting in daily movement. And I'm going to explain, if you're like, I don't understand what you're talking about. You're saying movement, but then you're saying exercise. What's the difference? Let me quickly explain the difference of what I am talking about. And before I get into that, I'm sitting here with my handy dandy favorite drink on the planet, Spindrift, grapefruit flavor specifically. And no, I'm not sponsored by them. My dream is that one day they will be my sponsor, because I drink at least one of these puppies every day, sometimes 2. Anywho, all right, so good. I love them. Moving on. So let me explain the difference here. When you look at what contributes to how many calories you burn each day, and I'm going to link an episode. I did a whole episode on this, really going in depth in this. I'm going to link it down in the show notes. And I'm also going to link that cheat sheet, the 7-day guide. I'm going to link that down in the show notes too. So you can just go clickety click to grab it. Now, the difference here that I'm talking about is there's 4 things that impact how many total calories you individually, your specific body, will burn each day. So 2 of those 4 things, we have exercise, and it's called exercise activity thermogenesis. And it just means any intentional exercise, going to the gym, going for a run, riding your bike, jumping rope. So you are doing this as exercise. Now, the other kind is non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and that's all other movement outside of intentional exercise. So if it's not intentional exercise and you're moving your body, it falls under non-exercise. Well, it turns out that exercise accounts for 5 to 10% of how many calories your body burns each day. But non-exercise, just meaning doing things like washing the dishes, walking to your car, taking out your trash, vacuuming, those type of things burn 15 to 20% of your daily calories, account for 15 to 20% of your daily calories. So I hope I'm making myself clear here that just by getting in more daily movement, you're going to increase your overall daily caloric burn. Now, does that mean you're like, oh, okay, cool, Alicia's saying don't exercise? No, 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 no. I'm not saying that, because exercise is a huge impact on the other components long-term that we need. However, quit going to the gym and getting on the elliptical and saying, oh, I burned 600 calories. Because A, that number is a whole lot of wackadoo. Those machines are so inaccurate. And number two, let's exercise because we want to build muscle, because we want to improve our cardiovascular health, because we want to improve the way our body feels and our energy, not because we're focusing on burning calories. All right. So the first part, the first component of this 30-day protocol is get enough daily steps. Now, how many daily steps, Alicia? Well, you'll see on that guide that I made, I said 10,000 daily steps. I think that's a great guide for most people to go by. However, if your current daily step average, let's say you're like, oh my gosh, I'm only getting 2,500 daily steps, then let's just try to add another couple thousand to that for now, for this 30 days. If you're at about 2,000 steps a day, can you get it up to 4,000 steps a day? If you're at 4,000 steps a day, can you get it up to 6,000 steps a day? You get where I'm coming from? So yes, it says $10,000. Oh my goodness sakes, what the heck? It says 10,000 steps per day on the guide, but I'm just giving a little caveat here that if you're nowhere near that right now, I'm not asking you to go from 2,000 to 10,000 overnight. Any boost in your daily movement is going to be a boost in your overall caloric burn. All right. Now, what are some ways to incorporate more steps into your daily life? Well, you can set a timer. Tell, I don't even want to say her name because she'll talk to me right now, but you know, SIRI. You can ask her to remind you every hour to get up and move. And all you got to do is, get up and do a lap around the room and then sit back down and get back to work. Or you've heard this before, but it adds up. Park your car far out when you go to the store or etc. Take the stairs. Any chance you have to get some steps in, get them in. And remember, there's no such thing as too short of a walk. Even if it's 5 minutes, cool. Eat your lunch and ask a friend, a coworker, hey, let's go walk around the block together. Get caught up, chit chat, gossip, whatever. All right. That makes sense? So let's move on to our component number 2. And I think that what we should do here now is strength, fact or fiction. Oh man. Oh, Lordy. Okay. I'm so glad that you put up with my dorkiness. Anyways, here we go. So the component number 2, we're going to lead off with a fact or fiction. Yeah. All right. Fact or fiction. There we go. We start to lose lean muscle as early as 25 years old. Is that a fact or a fiction? That is kind of a fact and kind of a fiction because, again, it varies from person to person. But around 25, 30 years old, we're losing lean muscle mass unless you are doing something to either maintain it or to build more. So there's no such thing as starting too late. If you're listening to this and you're like, I'm 66 and I've never strength trained, it's too late for me. No, it's not. It's never too late. And on the other end of the spectrum, if you're younger and you're listening to this, the earlier you start, the stronger of a foundation you're going to have as you get to be older. So we really want to be strength training. And that is component number 2 of this 30-day transformation. I recommend strength training for this 30 days, 3 days per week. And if you're like, I have no idea what to do and I don't have a gym membership, I got some good news for you. Tootsie Tuesday, good news for you. Just go to Stress Monkee TV on YouTube. Stress Monkee TV. And I'm going to link that down in the show notes, of course. But remember that monkey is spelled E-E, not E-Y. And I have a playlist called Workouts, Metabolism Boosting. There's all different lengths. They're all meant to be done from home. Sometimes, some of them you need one of those little mini resistance bands, and some of them you need a pair of dumbbells. So not very extensive, crazy equipment. You probably already have those things. I want to talk though. Oh, and in that 7-day guide that I made you, guess what? You have a little movement link to a video every single day. So you can just clickety click. And there you go. There's today's assignment. And it's all workouts designed for women over 40. Now, I want to remind you of something. Again, we start to lose muscle, lean muscle, as we age. So why is lean muscle so important? Well, first of all, there's so many reasons. I could do like a whole podcast just on this, but I'm going to hit the highlights. First of all, the more lean muscle you have, the more calories your body needs. So it's easier to lose weight. It's easier to change the shape of your body. And again, remember, if you want to change the way you look physically, dieting down and doing a bunch of cardio, you might lose weight, but it's not likely to change the shape of your body. It's like you'll look like you, just kind of smaller. But when we lift weights and we get that lean muscle, that's when we get that lean toned look that most of us want. Other things about lean muscle mass is it's been proven that it's one of the major impacts, one of the major keys on longevity. And that doesn't just mean quantity of years, but also quality of years. Lean muscle is the key to having more energy. It is the key to things like avoiding falls or protecting your joints. And a really big one that I think is incredibly crucial is it helps you to be more insulin sensitive. So meaning if you're insulin resistant, the more lean muscle you have, the easier it is to make that go away. And since half of America has either prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, and any of those things means you are insulin resistant, and even if you haven't been diagnosed with those two things, you still might have a problem with insulin resistance. We need to be doing some strength training here, kids. You little cutie pies. So the second part of this 30-day protocol is strength training. And again, don't overthink it. Go to Stress Monkee TV on YouTube, subscribe, because if you do that, whenever I post a new workout, you'll get a notification. And I try to post new workouts weekly. All right, let's move on to our third and final component of this 30-day body transformation protocol. Okay, let's just do a fact or fiction. I know. I gotta get my moves down before I do this so that I don't look like such a goober. All right, fact or fiction? And Rever, you should know the answer to this one, honestly. Fact or fiction? Fat, the macronutrient fat. Let me just open it with saying this. We have 3 macronutrients: carbohydrates, fat, and protein. Okay, here's the fact or fiction. Fat is the most satiating of all three macronutrients. Satiating meaning it keeps you full for longer. Is that a fact or a fiction? That's a fiction. That's a fiction. Protein. Protein, of those three macronutrients, protein keeps you full for longer. It helps you to feel full faster, and it keeps you feeling satisfied and full for longer. Now, let's talk more about why protein. So, if you're lifting weights, doing strength training, you need to be giving your body the tools it needs to build that muscle. And protein is made up of something called amino acids. Amino acids is how your body builds muscle, among other things. So if you're going to the gym, if you've been working out like crazy and you're like, I've been lifting weights and I'm not seeing any changes, I'll tell you probably one of two things is going on. Either you're not lifting heavy enough, challenging yourself enough, or you're not eating enough protein. And I use this analogy all the time because I think it's a pretty good analogy. It's like me saying like, hey, Rever, can you build me a house? And you're like, yeah, sure, but I'm going to need, wood and nails and hammer. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm not going to give you anything. Just create it out of nothing. That's what your body's saying to you. When you're going and lifting weights and then you're not feeding your body the protein it needs, it's like, I can't just build muscle out of nothing. And what's even worse is when we're training hard and we're not taking in enough calories and enough protein. Then what happens is your body actually goes and gets those amino acids that it needs from your already existing lean muscle. And that's really, really not what we want, obviously. So we need to get enough protein to allow our body, first of all, it's going to help us eat less. It's like a natural appetite suppressant. Number two, it helps to avoid these crazy high blood sugar spikes, okay? When we're eating protein with our carbs, it's going to help, instead of your blood sugar going sky high, it's going to kind of dampen it. Fiber does the same as well. So that's why we always want to have fiber, protein whenever we eat. Yeah. The other thing it's going to do is it's going to help your body build that lean muscle. So we really want to get in that protein. And again, I did do a whole episode on protein actually. So I'll link that up in the show notes as well. I'm sitting here making notes of all the things that I'm promising you that I'm going to link up in the show notes. So I don't forget, because I never ever want to promise you something and then not follow through. Now let's talk about how much protein that you need per day. This is my general guideline that I like to offer. How much is your ideal weight? What do you want to weigh ideally? So, and I mean that in pounds. So if your ideal weight is to weigh 130 pounds, let's say, then I would recommend that you eat 130 grams of protein per day. It's totally doable. What I really recommend is if you have no idea how much protein you're eating every day, I would eat like you normally eat and track what you're eating on an app like MyFitnessPal. There's so many out there. Just use a free version, track what you're eating for a day or two, and just to get an idea of how many calories you're taking in and how many grams of protein. And for now, I would say only focus on getting enough protein. I wouldn't worry about the carbs and the fat right now. Okay, I would just dial in this protein. So if you're nowhere near where you need to be, then just shoot for 100 grams of protein per day. 100 grams of protein per day. So on that 7-day guide that I have created for you, I give you really simple 3 meals and a snack ideas to hit that 100 grams of protein per day. And bonus points for getting a very high protein breakfast. One, because that's when your body's best at something called protein synthesis. And so I really suggest 30 to 50 grams at breakfast. You could do that with a smoothie. You could do that by taking some Greek yogurt, roll in, stir in some protein powder. And then I like to also add a little bit of some nut butter and some dark chocolate chips. I throw it in the freezer for about 20 minutes. And the way that I make it, it comes out to about 35 grams of protein. So that's quick and easy. But you can do this, and you'll see when you go download that 7-day guide, you'll be like, oh, yeah, okay, this is doable. So let me just quickly recap. We got our 3 components. We've got 10,000 steps a day, or just boost wherever you are, boost that daily movement up. We've got strength training 2 to 3 days per week. And we've got getting at least 100 grams of protein. If you can, you want to try to hit your grams of protein to what is your ideal weight. Go to stressmonkey.com/guide and get that free 7-day guide. It's going to be so helpful so that you're really going to have this inspiration and really a blueprint of what it is that you should do. And just think of this as a 30-day experiment. Okay. So you're going to want to tune in to next week's episode, because I'm going to talk about mistakes I see women over 40 making when they're trying to lose fat and build lean muscle. But I really hope that you give this 30-day body transformation protocol a try. And of course, I always love to hear from you. You can reach out to me. My email, it's below, or hit me on my socials or YouTube. I'm under Stress Monkey everywhere. But I love to hear how things are going for you. So thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit subscribe so you don't miss a thing. And if you are listening to this on your favorite podcast platform, same thing. Subscribe to me, baby. You don't want to miss our weekly hangouts, right? I didn't think so. All right. Well, I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for being here with me. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.